All right, welcome back again. Um, so today we'll move on to talk about how to make your resume ready for the academic admissions or applications, let's say. Before we move on, do you guys have any sort of like feedback from the for the last session or any progress from since the last session? No. Yeah, what did we talk about last time? Funding, right?
Yes, we covered funding.
Okay, good. So I hope you guys have a much clearer understanding about funding now, and that it is not much of a big barrier. It can be done, it can be resolved. It's not a huge deal. So when you are applying to the university, especially the dream universities, so if you can get in, and then you're thinking, oh man, I didn't get much scholarship. I got only like 25% scholarship, but then there's this other university who's providing me 100% scholarship, but the ranking is not that high. Then this is where you can sort of think about how to choose. Are you going to choose the one at a higher rank with less scholarship, but then you can back up your scholarship with others, like the governmental one in Uzbekistan, because you can, or are you going to choose the one with a lower ranking but full scholarship? So that's going to be something that to decide much later. So that's why categorize the applications at the universities into three and apply to all of that. And well, for you, Shahbaz, it'll be this year, I would assume, right? So I'll keep in touch with you. So anytime you're making progress with your application, you can let me know if you have any problems. But with the ladies, it'll be a bit later anyway. So let's go ahead and start about the resume part. You guys can see my screen, right? All right. So it's about how to get your resume ready or CV. There's not much difference in the meaning for your case because curriculum VT and resume will be more or less the same for you. But in reality, the difference between resume and curriculum VT is CV is a bit elongated, more detailed, longer version of a resume. A resume is usually a page or a page and a half long, and the CV can be as long as like 25 pages. That is not necessarily your case because even if you pour out everything that you have, it'll be a page and a half, not more. Uh, so the content of today's presentation and the content of your CV or resume will be more or less in this format. So you'll have a name, you'll have contact details, you'll have a short description about yourself and a bit of research interests. And that part is sort of interesting and important for your research interests part because that depends. If you're applying for a job, that part is not necessary. If you're applying for a research position, which would be, for example, masters by research, that would be quite interesting. Right? Uh, so then you're gonna list down all your education background and experience, whatever professional experience you've had, some projects that you might already attended, projects, volunteering activities, and all that, and then skills that comes with these projects and volunteering activities. So let's talk about name and contacts. In here, we are trying to be not so casual, so but then not super um, academic or super professional either. So you want to be something in between. So for example, you're using your name, it should be in the center of the page and it should be easy to catch. The font size should be easy to catch. But then if you're talking about contacts, you're going to be using personal Gmail, right? It's not going to be professional Gmail from your workplace or the university place. The same with the personal phone number and the personal address. Okay, so this is about you and you only, not any organization that you're affiliated with. And please make sure that when you create your Gmail, it's not like, lovey-dovey at gmail.com. Okay, it should be your something that reflects your name and surname, right? So it's not super professional, but then again, it's not super casual. Okay, it's something in between. You need to be a bit careful, like when, for example, generating your personal email. So you're starting your resume with the name and then contact details, right? And then moving on, you can write a little bit about yourself, something called personal profile. So it should be very short and very precise. It should be focusing necessarily on the hard skills first and then soft skills next. Or usually it's in that order. Okay. And it's going to be sort of like a small paragraph about you, but then you don't have to necessarily follow, I am all the full sentence full sentence structure of English grammar. So the focus should be the skills that you're talking about, that you're listing in that paragraph. Okay. So you got your name, you got your contact details, and then you got a small paragraph about you, sort of highlighting your skills. So we're clear in here, right? We're going to see some examples as well. Okay. And then your research interests. So this is sort of like an important point if you're applying for masters to do research, and most of the time your masters end up in some sort of thesis. So that is research. If it is the case, and I think it is the case for all of you, well, in this case, both of you, and so you would want to include that section. So that section would be a comma separated list of interests. Okay, it's not a paragraph. It's just actual topics of interest that you have. So it can be as general as, for example, computer vision or like deep learning. And this is from the AI perspective. So for example, Java's case, it can be as general as commercial law, or it can be as specific as IP rights, or IP rights, you know, with, I don't know, somehow related to IP rights with AI or something like this. Okay. So if you are already aware of the specific field of research that you're interested in, then you can list it down, and that's totally fine. But if you don't know, then it's fine. It's okay to put something general. It's not a problem. One other thing here to mention is if you're applying to a university to work with a professor, and then you see the professor works on, I don't know, optimization problem, and then you're writing to the person, oh, I want to work in medicine, it's not going to work. Medical AI, I mean. So if they're working on optimization, your research interests should somehow be aligned with their research interests. If you really want to work, you'll have to change your research interest, or you'll not even talk to the professor in the first place, right? So this is research interest. Next comes the education part. Education part is the most important part of your application, I would say, of your resume, I would say, because you're going in the academic route. So you would want to clearly describe your previous education so that it's easy to catch, easy to understand what you did and what you know. So this is going to include the time period when you did your degree at the university where you studied, and the subject of interest that you studied there, So that would be commercial law or finance and economics. And list down some key achievements that you got throughout the degree. Key achievements like you've got scholarship from the university, you've got I don't know, you won some sort of uh, I don't know, some competition during your bachelor's degree, or you participated in something like Model Union, what was it? UN, Model UN, that's organized, I think. Some people might be interested in that. So, and the thesis title is also important because it immediately tells me what your previous thesis was, what you worked on, and then what you are like. If you're applying to me as a professor, I'll be able to know what your previous thesis was, and I'll be able to sort of correlate that to what you can do right now with your master's thesis. Right, and some significant subjects that you studied, the important ones. For example, in computer science, it'd be data structures and algorithms. That's the most important subject there. It can be programming 101, right? Something like that. So some significant subjects that you can list down in your education section. So you might say that's a lot of information, but yes, it is, and you will see some examples how to integrate that into the resume. But again, in your case, you don't have much educational background, so it's fine to have this much information because it's not going to take a lot of space from your resume anyway, because there's not much to fill in your case. It's fine. And the work experience includes some internships as well. So if you did throughout the summer, which is very good. So that would include time period and the place that you worked at and your role. I forgot to include the role here. And the key responsibilities that you did as with that role, and some key achievements. So it would be, for example, here in your education, key achievements can be, comma separated list. This can be key responsibilities, key achievements can be a little bit longer sentences, right? Short sentences, but not necessarily just a comma separated list of words. So why is this part necessary? Key responsibilities and key achievements, and same here, key achievements. Why is that necessary? Is that when you're talking about skills and expertise, what usually happens with students is they just list down, especially the soft skills, they just list down those soft skills. So, for example, they say they're good at communication, they're good at time management, and I don't know, whatever. So they're good at team working. So you need to have some sort of argument as to why you are saying that you're good at time management, right? And then this is a perfect place to do so. The work experience part, the key achievements and or key responsibility is a perfect place because you're sort of implying that you worked in a team, so you know that team management is an important part within the job position. And for example, you're saying that you achieved, you planned something throughout your project. If you did in 3 months internship, so your key responsibility was to develop a specific software, and an achievement was that you delivered that software on time. So you're highlighting or somehow implying that you've got a good time management skills. All right. Okay, so the more you have, the better. So, and then the next part is about project and volunteering. Project volunteering and skills is exactly the reason. This is exactly the place to talk about your skills again. Okay, both soft skills and hard skills. So you're not going to be listing down those soft skills. It's not a good idea unless it's like a specific thing, like how we can say that. Like, for example, knowing a language is like, I mean, the programming language is sort of like a skill. You don't have to necessarily show that through a project, but it's better that you do it that way. So if you did some project, in your case, it'll not be very programming oriented, but let's say that you attended UN, right? Model United Nations, is it? Yeah, I think so. So the idea here is to show that you have the soft skills and the hard skills to go through that process, right? MUN is like a several-day event, I think. So what happens is you're not listing down the soft skills and hard skills, but then you're showing those skills, right? Your presentation skills, you're presentable, you're formal, you're a serious person there. You're showing that in different real life scenarios. Okay, that's a whole that's a whole idea of writing different volunteering activities and different projects. So if, for example, you did volunteering with let's say there are a lot of organizations in Uzbekistan that provide volunteering. So usually the ones that help the youth, the young kids. So if you did do that, so when you list down those things, you're highlighting your team working skills, you're highlighting your desire to help others, you're highlighting, your approachability, how approachable you are, and all that. Okay. So this counts under projects and volunteering, or yeah, usually extracurricular activities can also be within this section, right? And that's pretty much it. That's the whole CV. Thank you very much. We're done. Uh, let me see if I have my CV open. Where's it? Yeah, I think my CV is open, but it's an older version, so I'll share that with you, and then we can discuss this. This one. This is an older version. I didn't update it in a bit. Come on. You can see the screen, right? Okay. I'll show you, this is one format. I'll show you another format, which is also quite manageable. And I like that other format as well. But this is the current one that I'm using. So I've got my name in the middle, and I've got the sort of like a catchy title. Okay, catchy title is something that I really am, but then in a short form, something that immediately tells the reader that what you do is clear. Okay, it's not necessarily, some people. I don't know if you guys follow on LinkedIn. Many people have very long titles with themselves. I don't think that's a nice thing. Try to be as short as possible. It's yeah. So, and I've also provided the link to my LinkedIn, Google Scholar. Google Scholar is where you put all of your Google Scholar automatically picks up all of your publications. So, and LinkedIn is sort of like personal or rather professional CV where everything keeps updated. So here, personal profile. As you can see, it's uppercase. All the letters are uppercase here. So it sort of clearly puts a distinction between different sections as you go on. So a small paragraph about yourself, as you can see. So the first part is who you are. You're a computer scientist and an AI scientist, and then your background. And so this background part is sort of like similar with your research interests. Right, my background is computer vision, machine learning, deep learning, and medical image analysis. Right, I'm saying I'm computer scientist. So there, I'm clarifying what I mean by computer scientist because the field's too huge, but I'm narrowing it down to this specific field. And then some hard skills, I can say here. This is not really hard skills list, but it's sort of like achievements list. But then it sort of highlights really doesn't highlight. It's sort of like key achievements here, but I would rather write down some hard skills that you have. And then this part is some soft skills. I worked with experts and professions in medicine, automobile, higher education, and business. So this is sort of like my background, and then with robust communication, leadership, reasoning skills acquired working with these experts. And this part is something that I do not really like because I'm just listing down like communication skills. I've got leadership skills. I've got reasoning skills. And where is the proof to that, right? How you're going to prove that? So a personal profile can include this information, but then when you go to the skills list, preferably do not just list down that you've got communication skills, you've got leadership skills, okay? But rather show it through projects, through volunteering activities, through internships that you've done and all that, okay? It's fine to include that in the personal profile because this is sort of like, if you compare that to essay writing, you're writing down all the key components of your what we call outline. You're outlining the main arguments that you're going to go through. So I'm just outlining it, and then as you go forward, you'll be able to see, oh, okay, so this person has some reasoning skills, this has some communication or leadership skills, right? And then research interests, as you can see over here, a small list of comma-separated items. I'm not saying that this is a perfect CV, but this is something that you can work with. And the education part, so the period when you did, so it can be year to year, it can be months year to months year. It's up to you. I usually do months year to months year. So for example, there is a technical error that you can see here. Can you see there is a technical error there? No?
Maybe the month December is written like DEC and other months are written in full form.
Yeah. This is right. This is exactly the technical error I was trying to highlight. So it's not a huge problem, but then this is uh, something called a technical error, and it doesn't necessarily lower your value as a person, but this is still, you being floppy or sloppy. Okay, it's preferable that you don't do this kind of silly mistakes. So if you do DEC, then you stick with Gen, okay, not full. But if you do full, then you stick with the full name. So some minor issues like that. And then your university comes as a primary thing, okay, highlighted. So it's university, then the city, and then the country. So it'd be, we already have it, Tashkent, Uzbekistan, right? And then the qualification, so Masters of Science in Computer Vision. So this is the actual degree that you're getting at, and some key achievements from that. So you got, for example, scholarship from the university, you got some sort of competition that you did that you won, and some sort of overall GPA if you think is a good achievement there. Okay, and the thesis title, so automatic diagnosis and prognosis of head and neck tumor. So in your case, it will be something like this as well. So you've got your own thesis title, and the thesis is a dissertation, right? So something that you're already working on. Well, Shahbaz is working on because just mean as you go to the last year, you also do your thesis. So you can include the thesis topic here and some significant subjects. So like AI, human computer vision, visual object detection, and recognition detection, geometry for computer vision, medical imaging. I think this list is a bit too much. Can include around 5. I mean, do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's 5. That's fine. It's just the subjects are a bit longer in text. but yeah, on average, 3 to 5 is good. But then, yeah. So what's happening here is you're highlighting your university first, and then you're also highlighting some significant subjects, right? For example, if you study law, let's take the case of Westminster and talk about business information systems. That's a very tricky subject. Like, what does it mean when you're studying business information systems? Like, what subjects are you taking? So at West, what happens is you take some core business courses and core IT courses, some programming courses, software engineering courses. And it's very hard for people to understand that subject that you have taken because the subject name is a bit too general. It does not specify exactly what you study. So listing down some significant subjects gives more insight to your degree. Okay. We can always look into these significant subjects your uh, from your university degree and transcript, but it's easier if I read through everything and understand everything from your resume. Right? The same here. So thesis title is the development and deployment of an e-learning web platform. And significant subjects is data analysis, application development, database systems, and design patterns and all that. Okay, so right now I've got the vocational college with me as well. So the next time I update my CV, I'll remove this. I'll completely remove this from my application because this is not necessary anymore. It does not add any value to my application anymore because I've got something up about my PhD here. So I'll add my PhD and then remove this thing. Okay. So any questions on so far on personal profile research, interest, and education?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Thesis title is here the can be a title of research article or dissertation or case study, yeah?
Thesis is your dissertation, so it's a title that you chose as a dissertation.
Yeah, now I got it. Yep.
Mhm. So no schools. You mean high school? Uh, does it not add any value though? I don't think so. Unless your high school is like um, you have red. It means nothing in the rest of the world. If you have red diploma is the only concept in Uzbekistan. Well, in the post-Soviet. If your if your high school is for example, presidential school, it does add value, okay? Because it's a autonomous school and it's under sort of like the funding by the president. So that school sort of does add value. It's a specialized school, but other than that, I don't think it adds any value. I don't think so. So in your case, it'll be shorter. You can still maybe highlight it, the high school, but I don't know. Like as I said, so this thing has no value to me anymore, so I'll remove it, and it does not add any value to the application to the resume, so I'll remove it. The same goes to you, right? And the work experience, both pretty much the same thing. You got the period, and you've got where you did the thing. So you got the period, and you got your role, and where you study, or in this case, work, right? It can be internship opportunities, it can be full-time positions, And as you can see, there are some key responsibilities and some key achievements, right? And then there are bullet point, one sentence long statements, okay? And one thing that you should pay attention, I have a bit of an OCD, so one thing you can pay attention is, as you can see, this is a verb starting with an ing, right? Pursuing, analyzing, designing. So these are the things that I'm doing as part of my responsibilities. And the last part is key achievements. Achievement is something that I've already completed, received, and submitted. Okay. Uh, and you can add some catchy phrases like state-of-the-art research and deep learning for healthcare, and designing and experimenting novel CNN transformer models. And yeah, nothing else is catchy. So the same here, key responsibilities and key achievements. So there's something called parallelism. So keep that parallelism, okay? Responsibilities are written with verb ing, keep on doing this, right? The same is in the end when we're talking about key achievements. So this is the work experience part. As you can see here, we've got, where is it? Intern, right? Interning position, say EFF. This is very, I mean, in your case, it would be the most important part because you have nothing else in terms of full-time positions. So show that you've done a 3 months or a 4 months internship, what position you had, and you can mention that you did as a part of the internship and then where you did the internship from. And the same as usual, same points. That's it. So any point, any questions on the work experience part?
No, I guess everything is clear here.
All right. And research and publications would be, well, you would not have that. So instead, you would have, what was it? Work experience and projects, and yeah, it would be projects. If it's something that's not related to so teaching English, I've got that included here as well. It is not necessarily, may not be necessarily directly related to that field, but then if you don't have, if you do not have that as a part of, I mean, if you do not have a lot of experiences and that teaching English was part of the part of your internship, part of your work, let's say, then you can include it, and I think you should. But again, when you are selling these key points, right? When you are talking about these key points, you can highlight some of the skills. Okay, it's not, of course, necessarily really related to law, but then there are some communicative skills that you're gaining as you're teaching. So you are helping them, you're helping the students with you're guiding them, you're communicating with them on different topics, on different subjects, and what else? You show that you are approachable, that you have communicative skills, that you have leadership skills through this project. I mean, through this application process. Why I keep saying application process? It's a work process. Okay. Because when you're in a group, you're essentially, as a teacher, you're essentially teaching kids and leading them in a way, right? Now, volunteering activities, this is something that you would have, not the publications, but volunteering activities or projects that you've participated in. So in my case, for example, I did a mentorship in the it's a 2 months program. So by the way, if you guys have any interest in, well, not you, but your friends would be interested. So they have something called undergraduate research internship program. So undergraduate students doing the second year, third year, the summer period, they'll have that period. So within that period, you can participate in this UGRIP program of MBZ. You can just Google UGRIP at MBZ. So, and then you go through the admission process, and if you get accepted, you'll get 2 months opportunity to go to Abu Dhabi to the university and fully funded internship program. You can tell that to your friends if anyone is interested in AI. So I was a mentor in 2023. It was the first time it was organized. It was quite fun. So what we did is students, we sort of mentored them that were hosted at MBZ. So we guided through them deep learning project for the head and neck task. So we presented the head and neck task, and then some students joined this task. And I supervised them throughout the program. And here, as you can see, so mentoring, guiding, supervising, all of those sort of highlight that I have a bit of a leadership skill there, right? So this is what I meant when I said do not put the skills as a common separated list, especially soft skills, but rather show it through some internships, some volunteer activities that you've done and all that, okay? The university also has an executive program. Executive program is for the executives, for the CEOs, for the ministries and all high-ranking people in the UAE. So I was a mentor there as well. So I was mentoring senior executives across the UAE. I was helping them with the ideation process, proposing AI solutions to the UAE challenges. You see, this part is sort of catchy, but also it tells a lot of things. So I was helping them. So I was sort of mentoring them with the ideation process. Ideation is coming up with different ideas for proposing AI-based solutions for the UAE challenges. So UAE challenges, it's what we're saying here is not just a low scale, but we're talking about the large scale, country scale challenges. And UAE is like a huge country. I mean, in terms of economy. And we are providing solutions, AI-based solutions for these challenges. And I'm working with senior executives. As I said, senior executives are the CEOs or CTOs of, for example, ADNOC and this kind of big companies throughout the UAE or the ministries and all that. So this part adds quite a lot of value, for example, with me, because I have it shows that I have very professional experience. So a member of the book reading club. We were just reading and discussing book Probability Machine Learning, Introduction by Kevin Murphy. It's a very difficult book. I still haven't finished this book. And it says it's an introduction. It's a very heavy book. This part only shows that, I do something extracurricular outside my research, which is, again, academic extracurricular, but you can highlight, for example, if you have robotics club and you attended that robotics club, participated in that as a member, that can be listed down. Right? So in your case, it will not be robotics club, but I don't know what you guys have in finance and what you guys have in law, what kind of clubs you might have. Reading clubs, case solving clubs, I don't know. And yeah, so the same as executive program. I was a mentor in 2 cohorts, cohort 1 and 2, and I also was a TA, a graduate TA at Ramizi. So these are again as assisting the course professor and helping students with constructive feedback and one-on-one meetings. This again is highlighting And all of these things, some of your activities are voluntary. I didn't get paid for, but actually I did get paid for some of it. But yeah, some of them are generally voluntary activities are unpaid, and you do that to gain this experience, to gain the skills that you have. And we've got skills and expertise part. In here, I'm not necessarily listing down any soft skills, but I'm just listing down the language that I work with is Python. In Python, there's something called PyTorch, and the framework called PyTorch Lightning. This is something that I work on, and if, like for example, the resume goes to the IT manager, let's say, or AI engineer, they would know what I'm talking about, and it would be easier for us to communicate on the spaces. It's a sort of like factual statements, okay, something that you can measure. And technologies, again, I work on VS Code, Anaconda, Visual Studio, and PyCharm, and some database management tools. This part is, again, for you, for both of you, like for Jasmine, it may be like something like Stata for data analysis. Stata or R language can be listed down here, but other than that, I don't think there's anything for law, something like this for law. So other than that, most of the things that you guys have will not be necessarily this kind of hard skills. So mostly it's soft skills. And my personal information is at the end, so you can put it right in the beginning as well. Okay. In the personal statement, you have address, your email, and the mobile number. That's it. Oh, I've shared my personal mobile number. So, so let me see if I have the other one. I'll show you one more example. So any questions so far? All right, no questions. So this is a slightly different style, and more or less the same thing. So you've got your name and catchy title, and the address is coming here, right? Uh, the address is coming here. You can see the Word document, right? Okay. And again, your personal profile, some research interests, education, pretty much the same stuff. Uh, and some work experience, you can continue on with that. Your research and publications, you can continue on with that. And well, you don't have publications, but if you do, you guys already know how to add, you know, after text citations or references, as you might say. So you can follow that structure. Skills and expertise and volunteering activities. And you can add some honors and achievements in the end. You want this, you want that, you participated in, for example, some sort of a hackathon or some sort of challenges, competitions, and you came as a second place, you came as a first place and all that. All right. So that's pretty much it on the resume side. Any questions on how to get your resume?
So when you apply to universities and you share your CV, basically what matters is the content, what's written, right? I
Yeah.
mean, even if it's like a Word file, if it looks fine, it looks like organized. It doesn't have to be like a designed with great design that you did on Canva, for example. You use different styles, you know.
Okay. That's not professional, honestly, in my opinion. it's like, you can do it when you're in the grad and you're applying for internships, but then when you're in the professional field, it's usually a Word document that has these points,
Mhm.
the content.
Mhm.
A few points I would like to add on this is do not include your picture in the resume. Do not
Mhm.
include it. Uh, you can add references, so references to the professors, but then do not include the professor's information. Just say references part, the section, and then you can say upon request. Upon request means if you request some references, I can provide, but do not provide some personal, do not provide information about the professors, like their email addresses and their names. And that fancy style with different colors and all that, I look at that as a bit childish. It's supposed to be boring like this, but then if it is in this format, it's much easier for the reader. So if the HR or the admission committee if it's in the same format, it'll be easier for them to filter out people.
Mhm. Gotcha.
All right. So if you do prepare your CV, you can send it to me, and I can provide some feedback on that. Probably missed some minor points. I'm not sure. I think I did miss some minor points, most likely. So if you share when you complete your CV, and if you share that with me, I'll be able to go through and then provide more feedback on that.
Okay.
That's pretty much it for today. Any questions?
For me, everything is clear. I have no questions.
Mm-hmm. All right, I
No
can
question
stop the
from my side.
recording.